And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in this week with Padma Shri, Dr. Sudhir. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas and welcome to this special edition of This Week with Padma Shri, Dr. Sudhir Parikh. So, without further delay, let me have the pleasure of welcoming you, Dr. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
A lot of things keep happening, and there are two issues which I would like to share with you, or rather seek your insight on them. One relates to Indian politics, and especially Delhi Assembly results are out. What is your reaction to the way, is it as per your expectation?
Well, I mean, the results are kind of, it's a democracy, and democracy spoke. And I was kind of predicting, not predicting, but I was calculating that this may happen because of, all the local elections are always on the local issue. When it is in local issue, and if a government, the government of the day has done some local things which satisfied or which make local people, majority of the local people happy, not all, but majority, then obviously they are going to vote for it. So that's what happened. Obviously, we all are pro-BJP personalities, but still national election is a national election where issues are different. Local election is a local election where issues are different. And I think even though we wanted, I personally wanted BJP to do much better than what they did, but I think this gives a classic example to all the politicians of all stripes and color, that unless you do something for people which affects people's life, daily life, whether it's a water or electricity or job, people are too smart to understand what is right for them, and what is good for them, and so so that's why always in this country also the same person will vote for BJP in a national election because he wants BJP, which is a strong leadership, visionary leadership, world leadership, wants to make India better and stronger. But in the local issue, they have option there. And if the option is, a true option is available, then they will go for it. The same thing happened in Jharkhand. So the lesson to learn for all politicians, that always try to deliver what you promise, and what you deliver has to be a good for the people beneficiaries.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with you, and I think Aam Aadmi Party lost 5 seats. They were all 67 seats now, 62, and BJP gained 5 seats, so 3 to 8.
Yeah, but that's
not a big difference.
That's an irrelevant thing, because in democracy, out of 70, if Aam Aadmi won 36 seats, they won the election.
62. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, what I was saying.
So the way if we take consolation on the from 3 to we went to 8, that's not consolation. Actually, that's not lesson to be drawn from the election. Lesson to be drawn from election is that just like what Narendra Bhai is saying, that Vikas, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas. If you stick to Narendra Bhai's motto, you can win all the election.
Yeah, absolutely. This just is like a statistics, and which is a fact that 62 and 8 and 0 for Congress. But the question that I wanted you to address is BJP seems to be continuously bringing national issues in the assembly polls, probably they need to change their strategy because it was nationalism or how national
That's what,
security.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, that national issue does not work in the local election. So local election has to be fought by local issues. And unfortunately, BJP did not have a good leader who can gel all the BJP people.
Right. And just in this thread, Modi magic worked well during the Lok Sabha elections. But Modi magic is not working in the state elections. We have seen it again and again. So BJP probably need to reinvent itself in terms of its strategy for the state election.
Right. Of course. And they have to reinvent, and they have to talk about what is affecting the people's day-to-day life in local election. In national election, one can talk about national, who is a nation, its defense, its image in the world, and all those things. But not in local election, because and the same people who voted only a few months ago, 4 months ago, overwhelmingly to BJP, and the same people, they did not vote this time. That shows that they can differentiate what is good for them and what is not good for them.
Okay, so here again, a little bit of controversial sort of a track. But whenever elections in India, there is a polarization in the name of religion, which was very much sort of dominating the scene with the anti-CAA protests and Shine Bagh and all those things. So people perceive that this vote bank politics is still an integral part of Indian political dynamic. Would you see that Aam Aadmi Party has adopted some of the approach of Congress and have sided itself consciously with the minority votes?
Or you can say both other way, that Aam Aadmi Party, from their past experience, past anarchist behavior, they learn that by doing that they are not getting anything. On the contrary, people are laughing at them. So this time what they did is they try to avoid all this polarization thing, or they try to avoid the part of the polarization, at least obvious outwardly. And I think that pays them off. Means I think that worked for them actually. And I think polarization doesn't work, because eventually it doesn't work, because by polarizing thing you are creating a divide. I mean it works it was working in the past, because unfortunately our society is a caste based, our society is religious based, our society is kind of again upper and lower caste, and the Dalit and non-Dalit, and that's why all this polarization used to work. But I think as people get more educated, they see the world, they're more connected with the world, outside world, I think this thing eventually will not work.
Absolutely. Talking about the connection with the world, and briefly referring to an important visit of President of United States, White House has declared 25th February, President Trump would be going to not just Delhi but also would be in Ahmedabad. How do you see this significance of this visit?
I think it is a great significance. That shows that USA, a superpower of the world, is really interested in India and Indian population for not only for social purpose but for economic purpose. And I think it's a great thing for India. And I think we should welcome this. I already tweeted yesterday on behalf of all NRIs and all overseas citizens of India, we welcome President's visit to India.
Wonderful. And now talking about the compassionate approach of Government of India with reference to another challenge for humanity in the form of coronavirus, which originated at Wuhan in China. So Indian government took initiative and it vacated those Indian students, Indian citizens who were there. Whereas in contrast to India's stand, Pakistan didn't make any such stand, and they said we show our solidarity by not vacating them. So how do you look at this stand of Indian government?
Well, I mean, what India did is correct thing to do in the face of the coronavirus epidemics, because it's better to lift them out of the environment where there is a coronavirus widely spread in that province, and we don't know exact figure really. There are 20,000 are infected, or there are 30,000. And as you know, coronavirus is such a virus which one can have coronavirus and no symptoms. So even if you are feeling normal, still you can transmit that coronavirus to someone else. So coronavirus is very dangerous in that way, very contagious. So I think it's Indian government did a right thing to lift Indian citizens out of that province of where the coronavirus is prevalent, and that at least kind of prevent a lot of other those people get infected. Because still, even though they came here, but still we have to watch them for another 2 weeks in order to make sure that they don't have coronavirus in their system, even though they are not sick. So that's how coronavirus is. So I think government in India has done, medically speaking, correct thing.
And now let us try and learn a little bit about symptoms. You said you may not demonstrate any symptom, yet you might be affected by coronavirus.
So coronavirus symptoms are the same as any symptoms of the flu. Any flu you get year after year, every year in the winter time. Coronavirus symptoms are the same: runny nose, stuffy nose, cough, sometimes wheezing, and so forth, and body ache. But unfortunately, this coronavirus is very contagious, and there are some people who has coronavirus in their system, but still they are not sick or ill, and they come in contact with the other people and they can transmit this virus. So the best way to really handle this coronavirus problem, because you do not know who has it. So of course you are seeing the people with the mask. I mean, that does only little thing. I mean, it does, but that doesn't guarantee you that you will not get coronavirus. The most important thing one should do is keep washing your hands after doing whatever activity you are doing. And if you do that, then probably your chances of getting infected by coronavirus is very small. And unfortunately, there is no vaccine. They are working on that, but it may take a few months before even this epidemic becomes pandemic, you know.
So we have heard about some cases detected in New York, also in India, in Kerala, and few other places other than China. So how alarming you think the
it is? It is very alarming, because still it's spreading. Means usually this kind of any virus, like we had a SARS virus, we had a Ebola virus. All those viruses within 2 to 3 weeks it slows down everything. But this is not slowing down. On the contrary, it's getting more spreading. So it means it's really dangerous. And this affects the economy of not only of China, but it can affect the economy of India or economy of whole worldwide. And even in USA, even though there are no cases in USA, but indirectly it affects. For example, Apple makes most of their iPhone and their thing in the China. So if China shuts down because of illness, Apple doesn't have the chain of supply, and then Apple get affected. This is just example I'm giving you. So right now there is a fear that it could be pandemic, and if it is pandemic, then it will really affect economy very badly.
So now we only pray as well as we hope that it doesn't spread, and there are ways to contain it sooner than later. But at this point, as we take leave from this show, your parting words for our viewers.
Well, hello friends. Just be aware of coronavirus. It's seriousness of the coronavirus. So whenever you come across someone who has cold-like symptoms or flu-like symptoms, try to stay away from it. Keep washing your hands all the time after any activities, and always try to be confine yourself if there are people with the cold around you. So be vigilant, be aware of this coronavirus illness. It could be dangerous. So this is it for today. Please join us next week. Till then, goodbye. God bless America. God bless India. And Jai Hind.